Hey guys, welcome back to techgooch, and I've got kind of a neat little product for you guys out there. This has to do with over-the-air, or what you would basically call as free broadcast TV. This is the HD HomeRun. Then this is the Connect Duo version. They also have a Connect Quattro version. Same thing, just 2 versus 4 tuners. Essentially what that means is how many different programs can be watched simultaneously. This little box is a 2-tuner system, which will allow you to connect to 2 separate stations at the same time. There is a DVR service available for this as well that you have to pay for. Now, I have not actually done that, but it is $35 a year to use the HD HomeRun DVR service, and then that'll actually use like a hard drive that you have connected to your computer or whichever to actually be able to record content on. So that's something you can do. I don't have any need to DVR, but I may actually do that DVR setup in my setup video on GeekSmart when I eventually do that full setup. There's not a whole lot of setup in this regard, but I'm going to do one anyway. So watch that. That'll actually come below. But what this does allow you to do is a couple things. First, you can have one antenna in your home. It'll connect to this box, and then you'll be able to access that from smartphones, tablets, computers, and smart boxes. A lot of smart TV boxes have apps that can run on this. For sure, the Android OS, there is one on there, and Fire TV OS does have an app. Now, Apple TV does have a third-party app, not the HD HomeRun app. They do not have one. However, you can AirPlay from an Apple device to your Apple TV for free through the HD HomeRun app. However, there is a Channels app. It's a third party called Channels that you can also buy on your iPhone and iPad. It's actually a better app, in my opinion, than the HD HomeRun app, but it's not free. So on the Apple TV, it's $25. I decided to buy it to try it and everything. It is a better app. I will say that. I do like the interface better. But that said, I'm going to show you how this connects. And then I'm going to show you how it's used on my iPad or whatever, or a phone. Pretty easy. Actually, the setup is once you get this thing plugged in and connect to your network, that's it. Now, it does have to wire to your network, so you do have to have a physical Ethernet connection. It does supply this short, like 6-foot Ethernet cable, but in my house, I'm way longer than 6 feet, so I already have a longer cable ran. If you're going to set this near where your router is, you're set. You could also probably use a Powerline Ethernet bridge that if you can't physically run a cable from where your router is to where this is, you could run a Powerline Ethernet bridge, which allows you to use the power lines in your home. If you haven't ever seen those, you can get those at your local Best Buy or wherever. But all this needs is power, antenna, and then Ethernet feed. It does not work over Wi-Fi. Works over Wi-Fi for your wireless devices because they're connecting to your router. But that's it. Let's go out. I'll show you where it connects, where I have it connect. Yay. All right, so you can see here I have, this is the actual line coming from my antenna. Here this is a kind of a back room shelf that rarely ever gets accessed. Make sure that connection is nice and tight. Ethernet cable, that's coming from my router. And then power cable that I just put back on there. And then that's it. Otherwise, I can let that sit. So I can run the feeds down. Or you can mount this on the wall. But I'm just going to let that sit for there for now. And then I might maybe wall mount that or stick it on the shelf better later. Okay, so here we are. We have the app downloaded, the HD HomeRun app. If I just open up the app, it'll actually find the tuner automatically over my network. And it'll put up what we actually can see right now. Oh, there we are. So there's Judge Judy's on right now on NBC. If we switch over to NBC, we can see NBC. If we click on the screen again, we can go over to ABC. Now I can't get Fox here locally, but you can see where everything's going, and you can see what actually is currently running on here. So that's kind of cool, and you can actually see all that stuff and actually switch over to it all automatically right here in the app itself. I did want to say one more thing as well. If we actually click down here in the menu, there's actually information. So if I had the DVR set up, I could see my DVR recorded. If I hit Discover, you can actually see not only what's on right now at 2:30. There's the programs that are going to be on at 3 o'clock. Here's the programs that are going to be on 3:30, 4 o'clock, and so on and so forth, all on the networks that I have access to currently for myself. Now, of course, if you had access to more channels and you're in a larger metropolitan area, this would actually expand as well. So it's kind of neat to be able to see now that you can also see shows versus movies versus sports, and all that within the app itself, so you can see what's going on. Okay, so now I wanted to show you on the Apple TV what that experience looks like. And that's through the Channels app. So click on that, and this is the guide you typically would be shown with. Now this is probably what everybody's kind of used to that has satellite or cable. This is going to bring up that guide that you can actually see what's going on later in the day and what's going on currently. Now Channels, and you can actually do the same thing with the shows and everything like that. The guide is what I typically use. Channels does allow their own DVR service as well. That is separate than what the other guy, the standard app would actually give you. But there is some huge benefits to the Channels app that you don't get with the traditional app. And that is, I'm going to show you here. Let's just, whatever, Steve, that's fine. I have the volume turned down so we're not getting disrupted there. But that is the ability to pause live TV without any subscription or anything like that. It's all using the device's local hardware here in the app itself. I can rewind, I can go back and then restart. There's a huge advantage, and this is the number one thing what makes the Channels app worth the extra money if you're going to be using it frequently. Now on my Apple TV, this is where I mainly watch TV. It's wholeheartedly worth it to me to have this specific feature because I want to be able to actually pause when I'm watching an award show with my wife, when I'm watching football, whatever I'm watching on my antenna. I can actually go back, you can play it, and oh darn, I missed that, hit rewind and replay that same exact thing again. Now you can actually see here on the Apple TV, you can see the buffer building. And with the touchpad on the Apple TV's remote, I can actually buffer through that. So it gives you quick and easy access because it is on device. It's not over the network. It's actually on the Apple TV in the app that is actually saving that data. And so you can actually, start back up. So if you paused it to go grab whatever, and after a while you just keep playing it, eventually a commercial comes on, you can actually pause it, skip through that commercial, and come back up and hit play again. So that's the neat thing about the Channels app. Now, like I said, they do offer subscriptions, so let's go back to the menu here, exit to the guide, and then it's going to erase. And if I exit back to the guide, it will erase all DV or anything that I've saved or paused, any of that live TV I've paused to now. So when I go back, it's going to start from fresh again. So I can't go back, I can't gain that, and that's why that exit thing came up. But the neat thing, so this is the guide. The on now is showing you the programs that are currently on with their big items here. If you actually go to the settings, you can see that's my tuner that I actually have currently. These are all the channels that I have currently accessed, to me at least, on mine. High definition channels as well as standard definition channels. You can scan the networks if you have. You can actually have more than one tuner. So if you have maybe two antennas, one pointing to the west, one pointing to the south to pick up different stations, the neat thing about this is you can combine the tuners here in the actual app and actually do it all locally and not have to worry about having two different things going on, worrying about combiner boxes or anything like that. Everything can be done here, and within here you can actually scan, or you can add manual tuners, but you can actually scan the channels from the app as well. So you can also change what the remote controls are. So when I seek back, how many seconds do I want to go back? For instance, if I let's click on that, I can change it to say, no, when I hit back, let's go 10 seconds back. Well, you know what? Oh, let's go 30 seconds back. Let's go back. You can change all those functions in here as well. Now, I'm not really, saying so much about this specific app, but this app, if you're really going to use this for TV purposes, this app was on the Apple TV. It's an awesome app, and you can change all these functions, and they keep adding support, but you can see here where they have remote DVR available as well. That is something that I have not used yet, but like I said, I'm not a huge into the DVR side of this. I'm more in the pause local TV side of this. It might be something I try back later. So the HD Home Run is awesome. It gives you access and it gives you capability of doing something with your over-the-air, your free channels, and getting it to more devices. Now you have to be on your local network to get this. If you actually pull off your local network, and maybe you're on your cell tower or whatever, you're not going to be able to access what's on your HD Home Run. It's only local. But it does give you, while you're on your home network sitting at home, somebody's using the TV, you can actually pull up the game on an iPad, on a computer, on whatever you want. There are capabilities of accessing this specific tuner from anywhere in the home. And the neat thing is, if you're like me and you have an Apple TV or you have an iPhone or an iPad, you can download or purchase and download the Channels app and be able to pause live TV, rewind, rebuffer. Now, we watched an award show the other night. Where was it? I know I watched football the other day, and I mean that buffer builds. I mean, it's it's not just a 30-minute buffer. You can actually go back to the beginning of the program even if it's a couple hours long. So a lot of capability with the Channels app. Now that's a third-party app that's not free, but while I didn't buy it on my iPad, I'm really happy I bought it on my Apple TV so that I can pause while we're watching a large event. Probably not going to use it on the small stuff, but who knows? I might. If I have to run to the restroom and I'm watching something on TV, I can pause it and go to the restroom and come back and continue. So that capability is something that you can do with this box. It's still not possible without the HD Home Run. So this guy retails at about $100. They have a the Quattro version. I think it retails at $150. I will put links in the comment or in the description below where you can purchase this guy directly. But definitely check it out. It's definitely worth checking out. Now I got this actually at my local Best Buy, where they had several other different versions as well. But these are awesome. They really, really are. And especially if you are not on cable like I am not, haven't been for years, it's a nice breath of fresh air with that over-the-air stuff that you are kind of limited in how you can actually absorb that information or use that content. Now, like I said, right now I'm not using the DVR service on either the HD Home Run side or on the channel side, but that's something I may look to in the future, and if I do, I will post information here. So definitely check. I will have a setup video on GeekSmart eventually, so watch for that. I will put links to that when it does pop up, so keep an eye out for that. But if that said, any questions or comments, post those below. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, let me know what you think, and as always, we'll see you on a future video.